Right. Uh, it's interesting that I hear all of our young imams and our brothers here from Houston talking about the leadership class that they had, and I was not here. I lived here in Houston, right, for 5 years. Many still believe that Houston is home for me. They be like, welcome home. I be like, alhamdulillah. Little Rock is literally home for me, but Houston was home to me for 5 years. And Houston was home to a lot of my Quranic development, a lot of my Islamic development of what you see now. And I hear them talking about the leadership class and their brotherhood, right? And I promise you, so I didn't know Khalis personally here while I was here. I didn't know Tyree. Abdullah, mashallah, was much younger when I was here. He was probably in the class I was teaching. But I promise you, right, that I feel a brotherhood with them. Okay, if anytime I see them when we're traveling about or we're operating it's almost as if I was in the same movement that they were in. And I think it's because this is what we're talking about, I think, which lends itself to why some things it's hard to try and codify it all to make sure you can give it to someone, because some of it is being transmitted on a metaphysical level in how it's operating. So, I remember coming here to Houston, and the reason I came to Houston was to study with Imam Kazim, because I wanted to study like Wazir was doing. I would go to the conference and I see Wazir with Imam Kazim, and I'm like, what's up with that? Where's the room for the sisters to do some of this stuff, So I couldn't necessarily travel with Imam Kazim, but I said, I tell you what, I can pick up and leave where I am, and I can move to Houston. And that's what I did. And I studied with Imam Kazim some, but I still didn't get the intensive. And what I found in my efforts to please Allah, that my leadership training is ongoing. that much of the work that I've done, and I implemented the leadership class that they had here, I implemented in Little Rock with the young adults there, and then I implemented one with the sisters, the women in Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, the class didn't look like their class, right? But it used somewhat of that structure with the same spirit. And what I have learned more than anything is by me doing the class, I have become the leader. And it's not, I didn't seek out to do anything but to please Allah and to really strengthen the community. But what you all see, even when you see me around the nation, is a product not of me going through the physical class, but me literally doing the class. So I thought I was doing the class. I thought I was teaching the class. I didn't realize the class was teaching me. So it's one of those that, mashallah, it will be, right, codified as we talk about leading the world and giving the world something to use. But when we talk about our young people and we're telling you all that you are leaders and to understand how we went through the process and what we're going through, a part of the process is you finding your spot, that your responsibility to the community, and then taking hold of it like those rocks that Imam Fahim Shuaib talked about, putting them in your pocket. And as you go through the struggles, because it was a struggle for me to do those classes, as you go through that struggle, you'll find that the very thing that you want is inside of that struggle and inside of that process. So although I couldn't travel with Imam Kazim, I'm traveling with him now, in a different fashion. And they're turning into rubies for me because of my love and regard for this community and for Allah. So I really, this is my family. Houston truly is my family. And I feel at home here, and I feel just as much a part of their leadership class and a part of every other community as I do my own at home. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. So when I came into the leadership class, even before then, when I came into the community, I had been around Houston. I actually went to Prairie View A&M University, and I graduated and I moved to Houston, and I did not come to this masjid. My father, may Allah be pleased with him, grant him paradise, he kept telling me, go over there to Belford. He'd go to the Ramadan conference. He'd go to the conference in September. Convention. He'd go to convention. He'd come back with Muslim. He said, go over there to Belford. And I would never come over here. And then one day, I decided to go over there to Belford. And actually, he came in town. He said, take me over there to Belford. Imam Waters Sadeem Muhammad was here, and he said, I need a ride. And I brought him over here. And then even after that, I still was away. And then I came to a realization that I had a fog over me. And I was literally going to Jumu'ah at different masajid around the city. Some of them were all Arabic, but I was just fulfilling my obligation. And I realized I was hiding. And it was time for me to come out of hiding. So I came over here. And immediately as I came over here and I met Imam Wazir, and he immediately put me to work. But it was a good work because I needed that. I needed some focus. I needed some direction. And this is one thing I want to impart on everyone is that our youth, because I was born in the community, our youth that leave and they go out, they get scarred. They may not come back. They may come back. But we can't take that chance. We have to do everything that we can to make sure that we keep them incubate them. So anyway, so when I came, Imam Wazir, he was in the office over here, the old office of the old church, in a musty room. It was dark, and he took me back to his office. So you walk in the door, and you go to 2 doors. It get darker and darker. He's in the darkest part. Veils of darkness. He pulls out some plans and he rolls them out on this table of the future, right? And they say a vision without a plan is just an illusion. And I said, Alhamdulillah, this is great. He said, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna rebuild this. I said, but right then and there, I felt the commitment that he had, and I was on board. And it was kind of a slow process, but then the leadership class came along, and, he started giving us more responsibilities. And I want to thank you brothers that were there in the beginning of that first class because, like you all said, it's a brotherhood, and I feel the love. Every time I call each and every one of you, I don't think you've, for the 99% of the time, have turned me down on anything that I asked of you. So I appreciate that. But just to wrap it up, one time, Imam Wazir said, we're going to the prison, and we want you to teach. They gave all the warnings. They said, well, when you go in, if it's a lockdown, you might get stuck in there. And I'll never forget, then it was at nighttime at that, and we went all the way out to Sugar Land. I don't know what unit it was. What is it? Central, okay. And so I get in there, and, they bring in all these brothers. It looked like 10,000. It might have just been 300. And I began to speak, and I'm talking, right? And I'm just like, man, this one brother, he's sitting in the audience with this scowl on his face, and he's like staring at me. And I'm just making dua, did I do something to this brother in the free world? And now he got me right where he want. But the point I'm trying to make is I felt and I saw the commitment Imam Wazir demonstrated, the commitment that he had, and I just fell right in place for whatever I could do. I felt like if I can give any type of contribution, I was going to do it because I felt that the commitment was there, and this was something that I was looking for. So I thank Allah really every day because that was a rebirth for me at that point in time. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh.
Well, this leadership class sounds wonderful. So is it going national so that we all, as a community, can take advantage of this leadership class? Or is it just exclusive?
Well, we had a student in Maine this year. She Skyped in. Yeah, it was Fatima. She would get up after Fajr and Skype in. So we're working on codifying it. But it's a process. Codifying it is a process. It takes time. And this is the challenge. Other pay places, we would get a $100,000 grant just to pay for somebody to do the work. So we have to try to do it between 6 kids, 8 businesses, 3 masjids. So just inshallah. And so if anyone is willing, if you have clerical skills, you're a good organizer, you can put stuff together. I believe most of the raw materials we have in note form, right? So someone who has those resources would volunteer to put it together, edit it, add the verses where they need to go, add the Quran where it needs to go. Because sometimes you just mention a hadith, you just mention the ayah from the Quran. So anyone who can aid in that assistance, that would help the process get done quickly. Then we can send it out for review, right? And so this is something we have to learn in our community. It's called peer review. So before you publish it, you want to send Imam Yahya, Imam Fahim, you want Imam Qasim, you want to send it out and review it, because they can perfect it, they can polish it, they can add to it, right? Then it becomes a collective work. And then it comes back in. Then after the editing and all that, then it can be published. But then it contains not only the experiences of one small group of individual, it contains the experiences of a larger group of individuals. So yes, inshallah. So it sounds like you're volunteering. Okay, inshallah. Any other questions? I think we have time for one more, because we went over. Okay, so alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Let's enjoy so we're going to break for dhuhr, inshallah. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Inshallah, we're going to break for the dhuhr salat, so give the adhan, and then after the salat, we're going to come back with Imam Khalis Rashad. He's going to give his presentation, inshallah. So, a quarter to, or 1:45, a quarter to 2. So we have plenty of time in between now to make wudu, to prepare get the masjid back in order for the salat, and then right after the salat, inshallah, we'll go into our presentation and continue the Ramadan session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
This has a microphone? Yeah. Okay, good. That's why I held it, because I didn't want to set it down. It fell down. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And please keep in mind, please support the vendors. Please support our vendors in between your time of breaks, because they've worked really hard to get their things out and they want to present them to you. So please support them, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir. The order has been changed? Yes, let me show you. You're going to go. You have to make a few adjustments. No, I just need to. You're going to go and you have to make at least a 2:30
I'm 2:30?
Yes, sir. What time is police?
Yeah, I had to send you a text to try to give you a heads up. You know, like, no, baby, it's good, man. It's okay.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. You doing okay? Enjoying my fast. But enjoying it. It's been a long time. Outside in Houston, Massachusetts. Houston, Massachusetts. They got me saying that. It's been a long time since I've been here. Program. I just realized that it's been almost